You know that moment when something hits your feed, your brain takes a second to register it. Because it's just that unbelievable. That's exactly what happened when Lewis Hamilton dropped that bombshell. No team press release, no dramatic press conference, just a stark black square on Instagram. And in just a few short lines, he turned the entire Formula One world on its head. I gave it everything, but I can't continue like this. That was it, raw, stripped of any PR polish. And the second he hit post, everything exploded. You saw it, right? If you didn't, go check it out later. But I want to know, did you see that post before it started trending worldwide? Let me know down in the comments. It wasn't just a post. It was an earthquake. The motorsport internet buckled. Instagram servers were reportedly glitching because millions of fans, journalists, insiders, even drivers rushed to check if it was real. Hashtag Hamilton quits for was trending in over 70 countries within minutes. 70? That's not just news, that's a cultural moment. What made it hit so hard? Maybe it was how personal it felt. No generic thank you Ferrari speech. Instead, it sounded more like a confession, a breaking point. The caption wasn't dressed up in sponsor-friendly language. It was heavy, honest, almost like reading someone's private diary entry. He didn't just say goodbye. He called the entire situation unbearable. And just like that, it went from being a rough season to something much deeper. And as the news spread like wildfire, people weren't just shocked, they were worried. What happened behind the scenes that pushed one of the greatest drivers in history to walk away mid-season from the most iconic team in the sport? Before we get into that, quick thing, if you're enjoying this kind of F1 storytelling, subscribe to our channel and enable the notification bell. Your subscription is very important to us. Help us grow and reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Because what's coming next is where it gets really intense. Let's talk about what Hamilton actually revealed. Because if you thought the Instagram post was intense, the details behind it are on another level. This wasn't about one bad race or a missed strategy called .no. Hamilton described his experience at Ferrari as unbearable. That word alone, it hits differently, doesn't it? We all know Formula One is high pressure, but when someone like Lewis, with 8 world titles and over a decade of elite experience, calls the environment unbearable, that says a lot. And he didn't stop there. He named names. Fred Vassar, the team principal, was called out directly. Hamilton accused him of creating an atmosphere filled with excessive, unnecessary, and counterproductive pressure, not just pressure to perform, but something that felt designed to break him down emotionally and mentally, bit by bit. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think Ferrari's culture is just too intense for a driver like Hamilton? Or was it a total misalignment from day one? Vote below. Just a simple misalignment or mismanagement. Hamilton went on to say he felt like a complete outsider. Imagine walking into race strategy meetings and discovering decisions were already made, tires chosen, setups locked in, without your input. For Lewis, it wasn't just disrespectful, it was disempowering. He said he felt like a token, a figurehead, just a marketing asset in red. That has to be one of the most devastating things a driver at his level could feel. At Mercedes, Hamilton was always part of the process, shaping the car, influencing team dynamics, being heard. At Ferrari, it sounds like the structure was the exact opposite. He wasn't being treated like a partner. He was being treated like a passenger. This chapter of his story isn't just about tension. It's about being silenced, pushed aside, and slowly disconnected from the very core of what makes him such a force in F1, his voice. And hey, if you're into deep F1 insights like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Every subscriber brings us closer to our 1,000 subscriber goal. Your support makes all the difference. But just when you think it couldn't get more personal, the rivalry drama with Charles Leclerc takes it to a whole new level. Now, things get really tense when we look at Lewis Hamilton's relationship with Charles Leclerc. It wasn't just a rivalry, it became a Cold War. Hamilton openly said the relationship deteriorated beyond repair. And that's huge coming from someone who usually keeps things respectful, even when competing hard. He claimed there was only room for one voice at Ferrari, and spoiler alert, it wasn't his. Imagine being an 8-time world champion and feeling like your input doesn't matter, like you're always fighting for scraps. Hamilton described being undermined during briefings, with setup choices mysteriously overridden, as if there was a clique of engineers favoring Leclerc, the homegrown talent. It's a massive problem in a team where unity is everything. F1 demands trust and collaboration, but when the squad splits into camps, it damages performance and morale. There was even that petty, yet telling detail: Leclerc unfollowing Hamilton on Instagram. It sounds small, but it says a lot about how fractured things had become. The Monaco Grand Prix was a flashpoint. Hamilton felt he was intentionally undercut to give Leclerc the upper hand at his home race. That's a serious accusation. An intentional team order working against you is basically F1 conspiracy territory. After that race, Hamilton reportedly stormed out of the debrief, threw his earpiece down, and demanded to be told straight up if he was just a number two driver. And what was the response? Silence. That silence, a deafening lack of acknowledgement, was apparently the last straw. For a driver of Hamilton's caliber to be treated that way inside one of F1's most historic teams, that speaks volumes about the atmosphere inside Ferrari. So, tell me, whose side are you on in this Leclerc versus Hamilton drama? Drop a comment below, Team Lewis or Team Charles? And while you're at it, please hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Every new subscriber helps us bring you these exclusive stories and break down the drama behind the scenes. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. Your support really means the world. Next up, the breaking point that no one saw coming and the surprising visit from Toto Wolff that changes everything. After everything exploded at Monaco, things took a serious turn behind the scenes. Hamilton basically locked himself away in his motorhome, refusing to come out. Messages and knocks on the door went unanswered. Something had truly broken. Then, out of nowhere, Toto Wolff showed up. Now, remember, Toto isn't the Mercedes team principal anymore. He's just an advisor. Yet he dropped everything and flew in just to be there for Lewis. That says a lot about their bond. This wasn't about contracts or politics. It was personal. Toto didn't burst in demanding answers. He waited quietly at the door, hand on the frame, and said simply, "It's me," and Hamilton let him in almost immediately. Inside, it was a moment of raw honesty. Sources say Lewis broke down quietly, tears falling, but there was also a hint of shame, the kind of shame that comes from feeling broken in a way he never expected. Toto sat with him, not with empty words, but with real support. Then came the offer, the one everyone's been talking about. Toto told Lewis, "You don't owe anyone anything. If you want to come back, even as a reserve, I'll make sure you feel respected again." That offer hit deep. Hamilton's reply: "That might be the first offer that didn't come with conditions." It's a powerful moment, revealing just how much respect and trust they built over the years. Beyond trophies and contracts, it's about genuine human connection. I want to ask you, would you like to see Hamilton return to Mercedes, even in a limited role? Vote yes or no in the comments. Your voice matters. And if you're loving this behind-the-scenes look, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're pushing hard to reach 1,000 subscribers, and every one counts. Your support helps us bring you these exclusive insights and keep the conversation going. But while Toto and Lewis were reconnecting, Ferrari stayed silent. That silence speaks volumes and sets the stage for the final chapter, the fallout, the future, and what this all means for Formula One. So, what now? Ferrari's silence has been deafening. No official statement, no damage control, just radio silence that only fuels rumors and speculation. Are they locked in legal battles over contracts? Trying to control a narrative slipping beyond their grasp? Probably a bit of both. When a giant like Ferrari faces a public crisis this big, expect lawyers to swarm over breach of contract clauses and non-disparagement agreements. But silence sometimes speaks louder than words. Rumors are swirling about Ferrari reaching out to Carlos Sainz for a potential return, someone they know well and trust. Others whisper about fast-tracking academy drivers like Ollie Bertram or even Arthur Leclerc, gambling on youth or aiming for stability. It's a crossroads for a team with a proud legacy, but clearly struggling with internal chaos. And Lewis, his management's phone must be ringing off the hook. Mercedes, with Toto's backing, seems the obvious landing spot. Maybe not as a full-time driver initially, but as an ambassador or mentor somewhere. He can feel valued again. Aston Martin and even Red Bull have been mentioned, though those seem less likely. The big question remains, can Hamilton legally walk away mid-contract? Could Ferrari bench him for the rest of the season? These contracts are ironclad, and the financial penalties could be massive. Expect a fascinating mix of legal drama, alongside the racing action. But beyond all the contracts and team politics, this saga highlights something deeper. It's about the clash between tradition and modern athlete power. Ferrari's rigid culture collided with Hamilton's expectations for respect, voice, and authenticity. Today's top athletes aren't just hired hands, they're brands with values, and they're not afraid to speak up. Hamilton's final words on that post: "I came to Ferrari chasing a dream, but sometimes dreams turn into cages, and I won't spend another day locked inside one." That's powerful. It makes you think what happens when a champion's dream becomes a prison. What hidden pressures and priorities are at play in elite sport? So, what do you think Ferrari's next move should be? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And please, subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with all the latest. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers, and your support really makes a difference. Thanks for watching. This story is far from over.